That's right. No snow this week. Got so used to it. I've been up since 6 a.m. this morning. But I missed last night, so I can't miss again. Papa's got to make some money.
What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, we kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. Our brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose
What's up, guys?
the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. And we feel betrayed.
What's up, guys? Yeah, my oldest son was in
The race.
a what's it called? Mock trial. I don't know why I forgot it all of a sudden. All right, I gotta start Facebook. Let's see. We're about at the end here. A couple more seconds. I didn't know mock trial was around when I was in school, but apparently it was. I don't know. It's fun. I would have loved arguing. Are you kidding me? And I'd already been to jail twice by then, so I was like an old hand by then. Been like cheating, you know what I mean? Too easy. All right, let's start. Facebook has started. Couple of refreshes over here, and then I'll be right back with you. Give me just a second. We got this new... I need to automate this. I will set up an automation for it when I've got more time around the office. But basically, like, someone keeps falsely claiming my channel and copyright on Facebook, so I've got this different way that I have to start it after the music, and it takes a couple seconds for everything to get through, and then I got to share it on my Facebook. It's really becoming a hassle for, like, I don't know, $4 or $5 a month I make off Facebook, but still. It's really more of like, I don't want to shut it down for sentimental reasons because that's where my parents used to watch, was on Facebook. But whatever, it takes a couple of minutes, and I'll be right back with you. Like that. That should be good to go. Here we go.
Hey daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank
Fried
you
okra's
for watching
big here.
Cold Beer
I
Confessionals
guess it is where you're at
with
too, but
Will
it's big here.
Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Welcome everybody. I am Will Bird, and this is the Cold Beer Confessional. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. Sorry about last night. I didn't stream last night because I had to get up early. Today, Liam, my oldest son, who's a freshman in high school, was part of the mock trial team. And at the mock trial team, he had, we went to the federal courthouse, which is in Greenville, Tennessee this morning. And he was on the, so each school has a team that's like a prosecution and defense. He was on the prosecution team. Our defense team went first earlier this morning. They did their thing, whatever. And then we had a long break until after like 2:30, 3 o'clock. Then we had another, Liam got to go with his prosecution team. They did really good. In fact, it's a competition against other schools. They won everything. They won everything they possibly could. The only award they didn't get was a runner-up. Like they won first place. They won, somebody from their team won best prosecution attorney. Somebody from their team won best defense attorney. Somebody from the team won best defense witness, and someone won best prosecution witness. Like they won everything you could win except for runner-up, which you can't win runner-up and be winner. So they're going to state next month, I think, down in Nashville. That might be cool. We'll have to get a hotel room and shit, and we go down there to watch them. So that might be cool to stream or walk around or do something with the stream. So there you go, guys. I guess we're headed to Nashville next month. Either way, it was pretty cool. It was like a murder trial. The trial. So it's weird. Like they present a case in a trial, and it doesn't matter if the jury finds. It doesn't matter what the jury finds. They're actually grading each individual person on all these different things about how they do it, including they even have a sketch artist. So they bring somebody on their team that's like from the art department that has nothing to do with the trial that like makes sketches, even though sketches are turned in for points for the team. It's crazy. But the case was very, very, very heavily in favor of the defense. Like it was a murder trial, but they had no eyewitnesses, no gun, no shell casings. They couldn't even tell the caliber of the gun. they kind of had motive. Well, they did have motive, and they had this, the perpetrator allegedly made some threats, but even those threats were like, last chance, see you soon kind of deal. Yeah, it was just, it was weird. The best pieces of evidence they had for guilty were the guy had been working late at work, the murderer or the suspect had been working late at work, and he had clocked, in when he was supposed to clock in, but then he didn't have to clock out of the building, but he had to clock in again right after the murder happened. And they actually had a witness claiming that those things had been on the fritz, that the clock-in system had been on the fritz and had been making fraudulent timestamps, and that they had put in a work order for it. They had some cell phone data that put him in the general, that put the accused in the general area of the murder, but not super close. And they had another expert witness say, it probably wasn't even as close as this expert witness says. Yeah, it wasn't heavily in favor of the defense. So all day, or it was heavily in favor of the defense. So every case that we watched today, the defense won. Defense won. And then actually when we got to Liam's trial, where he was a prosecutor, where we do not want the defense to win, it was a hung jury. So that was a good sign right off the bat. And then when we started winning all the fucking individual awards, I was like, we have to have won, right? We won every award here. It was all right. It was fun. And then we had a couple hours. We walked around downtown Greenville while we waited on the rest of it. But yeah, it wasn't bad. I couldn't record. You weren't even, you could take your phone into the courtroom, but you're supposed to turn it off. You definitely couldn't record and shit. But we got some pictures. Mariah put them up on Facebook. I'll grab some later and throw them in Discord. Anyways, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. I'm Will Barr. This is Culprit Confessional. If you want to support the stream, this is how you do it. The Just Quick Tools link, or the built-in links that work, Super Chat, bits, all that type of stuff. If you want to help us pay the bills around here, that's how I pay the bills, keep the show going. If it's something you like, support the show. Okay, I realized that the last show I did was actually about the drones, and we never got to the drone topic, right? It was about the FAA shutting down an airport for who knows, right? And we had never actually got to that topic. It was weird, the reason they shut it down. The military, so the FFA said we had to shut it down because of the DOD. The DOD said we had to shut it down because of cartel drone operations in the area. But at the same time, the DOD was saying, oh, the cartel's sending drones over here. I guess they didn't send the memo to all the other agencies because all the local agencies were like, nuh-uh. The FAA decided to shut down air traffic because the DOD didn't tell us that they were testing this laser system that they were going to be using that could easily like blind a pilot or fuck up an airplane or throw off, cause a crash. It's called the Locust system. Actually, I'll show it to you. That the DOD was planning on testing this Locust system for a valid or not valid reason. It doesn't really matter. But they didn't put in flight restrictions or warnings or anything. Like the Locust is a laser-oriented counter UAS system. It's a 20 kilowatt palletized high-energy laser weapon designed to detect, track, and destroy drones using AI-driven, low-cost, $3, $10 per shot energy. It integrates with military vehicles for mobile defense, offering a 360 field of view and, in some cases, control via an Xbox controller. So, it sounds like they were planning on testing this, but anytime you're going to test something like this, obviously the FAA has to put in a shit ton of like safety features, safety nets, and keep people out of this area and warn pilots and blah, blah, blah. So they didn't say the FFA. So the FFA or FAA, the only thing they could do was like, fuck it, let's shut it all down before somebody gets killed. Then the DOD didn't like them shutting that down, so they blamed it on the fucking cartel. There was no cartel drone, or maybe there could have been a cartel drone, but it doesn't seem that way. So then they end up shooting something down or trying to shoot something down, and it was a fucking balloon, a Mylar balloon. Those shiny-sided balloons that you get at like the fucking dollar store or Walmart or whatever, birthday balloons, pre-inflated. It was one of those. So here's that update that I never got to on the show, the last show we did, drone operations. Let me get you some audio. Hold on.
Wednesday over El Paso, Texas. We now know why the Federal Aviation Administration did an unprecedented airspace shutdown on Wednesday over El Paso, Texas.
And it's a complete ground stop. Not even medevacs are allowed to fly.
Not even medevac, which could have cost people their lives. I don't know that it did. I'm sure somebody will be looking into it. Everything was grounded. Everything was not even medevac was allowed to fly.
Multiple sources.
And what's crazy is like all they had to do was get with their own FAA, come up with a safety plan, back and forth, say, hey, we're only going to shoot in this area. We're only going to test it at these times. We'll put out these warnings. We'll put out these flight restrictions, a TFR. A TFR is a temporary flight restriction. Every pilot has to read it if it's anywhere, if it has anything to do with your flight, and they know, hey, we got to be this high. We got to go around this. We got to. All they had to do was just do the smallest bit of planning. And we would have never known this was even a thing.
Are now telling CNN that the Pentagon planned to begin using a high-energy counter-drone laser in the area without consulting with the FAA on the risk to civilian flights. The FAA responded by instituting a 10-day-long, 10-mile temporary flight restriction, although it ultimately ended after only about 8.
Oh, yeah. Happy Valentine's Day. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day. I don't know. I think me and Mariah are going to go hang out. I might stream some of it because we're going to we're going to try to swing by the new Hard Rock Casino. So I might go live from my phone some because last time we went to the casino, I think it's for our anniversary, we went to Cherokee. We had a really fun stream doing that. I don't know. I'll let you guys know.
Hours. It was all to get to a February 20th planned meeting between the Pentagon and the FAA about these flight risks. It seems the Pentagon...
We went to Harris and Harris Cherokee, and we went to Gatlinburg, and we had a really fun time streaming with people, live streaming. We did that. It was actually a lot of fun. I don't know if I'll do it this time, but I enjoyed it last time.
Temporary flight restriction, although it ultimately ended after only about 8 hours. It was all to get to a February 20th planned meeting between the Pentagon and the FAA about these flight risks. It seems the Pentagon was still going to move forward with using.
So the FAA wanted this meeting, like, hey, we probably need to meet up over this, right? Because it's going to cause some extreme risk for, private aviators. People just trying to fly around. This seems like undue risk, right? And they're like, nah, we're just going to run the test anyways without even discussing it with you. This is the Locust system, by the way. It's just all automated. It kind of works the same way that our missile defense works, where these are integrated with all kinds of other cameras and monitors and radars and shit that we have. They all tie together. If you don't know, our air defense system is like a handoff system, right? One Patriot station is monitoring it, as well as this radar station, as well as another Patriot missile station. And even if we're not firing, they're tracking an object constantly. And when it gets to the end of their tracking bounds, another station has already picked it up and they're tracking it. And that integrates with our aircraft as well. So this does the same thing. Aircraft, radar, camera systems, whatever we're using to monitor drones now. This is all tied in. And we can get real-time updates. Even if we're not shooting anything, we're still fucking tracking everything in the sky with the option to shoot it.
This laser, all these new details really undercut the White.
I mean, we've heard. Hold on, I think I'm sure I can find a video of this. Hold on. I don't know how strong this. Oh, I do. I think it said 20 kilowatts. Right. I think it said it was a 20 kilowatt laser. It doesn't matter. Watch this. When a laser hits a fucking cockpit, right? It can blind pilots, especially then landing and takeoff and shit, with a handheld laser, like somebody being stupid on the fucking ground. Now imagine a military grade fucking laser sweeping a fucking plane. Even if it doesn't burn a hole in it, even if it doesn't fucking blow up the engine, even if it doesn't do any of that. See that? They're getting flashed by laser. It could blind pilots. Like, this is just stupid not to have a safety plan. Even if we have to keep it secret, even if we have to say, look, we're doing something in this area, do not fly south of this line for the next 10 fucking days. Boom. Safe. But instead, now you got everybody talking about it. Foreign adversaries looking up what the fuck we're doing. Right? I don't know. They're just so incompetent.
House explanation that this was all because of a Mexican cartel drone that wandered into U.S. airspace. This effectively shut down El Paso International Airport, serves about 100 flights each day, and it's just south of Fort Bliss and Biggs Army Airfield, where there are often drone operations. The Pentagon still not really coming clean here on whether or not it plans to continue using this high-powered laser. We now know why the Federal Aviation Administration.
And then out of all that, the only thing they could find to blame it on was a fucking party balloon. There wasn't even a drone to begin with. Do I think the cartel uses drones? Probably. Why wouldn't they? I mean, it's a great tool right now, especially like the low, cheap cardboard drones like they were using from that Australia sent to Ukraine. Me and my son built airplanes. In fact, on one of my channels, Cold Beer Creations, which I don't use right now, but I will fire back up. That's going to be like my, I don't know, hobby projects channel or whatever. We built a fucking remote control plane and went through the steps, built the plane, and me and my son flew it around, right? It was made out of cardboard and, I don't know, a couple $100 worth of electronics. And it could carry a hell of a payload. But, like, this was clearly a test. They couldn't even find a drone to blame it on. It's not worth an airplane worth of people. I guarantee you that. Like, even if we did take it down, and then they're going to shoot down a balloon and be like, oh, it was the cartel's fault. Okay. If you say so. All right, I want to go to... Did I show you guys this impression the other day?
You can't just walk around with a gun unless you're going to a school. Everybody knows that. It's the law in the Bible. Okay, if you have a weapon, like a phone, or a potato, or a pool noodle, you know, that's a violent riot. Okay, the Second Amendment says we can have guns, right? But you don't have guns rights, right? Look, this is just like when I did my very successful meth campaign. I said, meth, we're on it, okay? We're committed to this too. We say murder, we commit, okay? We're out there executing. Our mission. Okay.
We're out there executing. When we say murder, we commit it. And we're executing our mission.
You have a gun out or concealed, or you saw it in a movie once, you know, we will run at you the fastest we can. Okay, our officers will respond according to their training, which is 6 to 8 minutes of writing down their name and favorite color. Look, the bottom line is we make the rules as we go, and you have to guess what they are.
I think one of the reasons I hate the bitches that Trump puts around him, and I didn't realize this at first. You guys remember when vocal fry was a thing? When they would like fry out their voice? You know what I'm talking about? They all have this underlying, she has like a Midwestern on top of vocal fry. Pam Bondi, I'll show you in a second. She has this crazy like whiny vocal fry underneath. I think that's it. Plus they're dumb bitches.
Okay? And if you're wrong, you know.
No, I take that back. Some of them aren't dumb bitches. Pam Bondi had a career she could probably be proud of from Florida, right? I think it's worse when you're not a dumb bitch and you're willing to throw it all away to look like a dumb bitch to do whatever you're told from your boss.
It'll end badly for you and any dog I might see. You can't just walk around with a gun unless you're going to.
So that's Christy Dome impression. Here's Lysandra doing Pam Bondi.
The Attorney General of the United States of America, talking to washed up loser lawyers.
Trump, derangement, send Trump.
Working for this president is an honor and deeply energizing. At the Trump administration, we only care about facts. And the fact.
Hear the vocal fry, in the back of it.
is they're all hypocrites, and I have a file on all of them and everything they've ever voted for or done in their life, including their search history. I know if they were breastfed or formula babies. I have a list of all their problematic Halloween costumes. Every large corporation they have a subscription to. Screenshots from when they posted that black square on Instagram in 2020. With the truth on my side, they can't tell me anything. Because this isn't a circus, this is a hearing. I am the Attorney General, and I will not deal with theatrics. I will never be accused of a crime. Oh, hang on. As God is my witness, God bless America, God bless Donald Trump. What does Jekyll and Hyde mean? Also, why do I have to make eye contact with these attention seekers? Dow is over 50,000. Get ready with me for a day of being the Attorney General. Thank God.
It's Jesus. You know what? Not what we're here for.
Well, isn't this when you let me into heaven for all the good I did?
I'm just looking over your notes real quick, and oh yeah, no, access denied.
Please don't tell me that Trump derangement syndrome made it all the way up here.
Actually, he didn't even make it up here for judgment. When he went after he was forced to watch all the parades in spirit form, a special black hole opened up to banish his spirits with the likes of Hitler and Epstein and Lou Pearlman.
Lou Pearlman?
Wow. Defending another abuser right now. That's a choice. Anyway, looking over your heaven application, lying under oath, covering up a child's string, gaslighting the American people. Anyway, we got letters of recommendation from Ghislaine Maxwell and Marco Rubio. Oh, I'm sorry, we can't forget the cameo from George Santos. This is a solid application. Listen, forgiveness and grace, it's kind of my brain, and I've got to admit, I've been kind of harsh on you.
So this is where I get in?
Oh God, absolutely not. No. Next case.
But the Dow was over 50,000. Thank God.
That was pretty good. That was really good. I also have this. I don't know what this is. I just saw it, and it's got Elder Millennial in it. So let's check it out.
It's wild to me that the Democrats posted this, knowing the context of this quote. According to them.
Yeah, so I called Lindsay, or I called, God damn it, what's his name? Fuck. I'll look it up. I called him out for the same thing. You can't know about these crimes against children. Then once the person's arrested, say, oh yeah, everybody knew, I knew he was doing that for years and years. He fucks every kid that comes near him. And then pretend to be the good guy. It's not how it works.
And Trump knew. And they showed his quote where Trump said, everyone has known he's been doing this. Now, this quote is from 2006. And where would we find that quote? Oh, you know, when Donald Trump called...
Lynn Wood. Lynn Wood claims that he knew that that Lindsey Graham and his neighbor had secret sex dungeons with kids tied up in them that they'd go fuck on the weekends or whatever, and never reported it to police. But that's his claim.
2006. And where would we find that quote? Oh, you know, when Donald Trump called the fucking police on him.
By the way, we don't have any straight, like a transcript of this phone call. We have a person later remembering that Trump called and trying to remember the phone call, right? So we got to go to degree of separation, hearsay here or whatever. But again, I wouldn't expect, let's say there's a bank robbery. Let's say Nancy Guthrie's kidnapping. There's a reward right now for evidence that leads to Nancy Guthrie's kidnapping. Okay? Or it leads to her recovery or the people busted or whatever. Let's say tomorrow they bust the kidnapper and find her alive and well. I don't think they will, but let's say they do. I find her alive and well tomorrow. Then let's say the next day, I call the FBI tip line and say, oh, yeah, that guy's been a kidnapper forever. We all knew. We all knew that he had fucking Nancy Guthrie in his basement just waiting on some Bitcoin. Do you think I'll get the reward? You think I'll get a pat on the back or anything? Oh, yeah, we all knew. We all knew. We called him old Kidnapper Ken. That's all he does, kidnap old ladies.
And where would we find that quote?
Yeah, everybody knows the context. There's three main problems.
Ben Wood lost his fucking mind.
Number one, it confirms that Donald Trump knew what was going on with Jeffrey Epstein and continued to party with him anyways. Number two, it directly contradicts what Trump said to the public about his knowledge of Jeffrey Epstein's crimes, where he claimed that he didn't know about any of this until much later. And number three, it raises questions about after 2006, how often did Donald Trump see Jeffrey Epstein? See, this is a file, an email that Ghislaine Maxwell sent to Jeffrey Epstein in 2011. I want you to realize the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Blank spent hours at my house with him. So besides the fact that it has taken months and months and months to get the Trump administration to release files they were supposed to release on day one, because remember, Pam Bondi had them on her desk and then never.
It doesn't make Trump look good. I know MAGA's running with it. It doesn't make him look good that he called in after the arrest. Is like, oh, yeah, everybody knew that guy was fucking kids. Check out Ghislaine.
And we don't, and then never mind, it's a hoax, and then never mind, let's stop talking about it, and then maybe I'll release the files, and then being forced to release the files, we still don't have millions of documents, the DOJ actively breaking the law. Besides all of that, that document in particular raises even more questions, doesn't answer them. Thanks.
It's wild to me that the Democrats.
Not a good thing. Not a good, just letting you know, it's not a good thing. Also found, check out these. I had a little bit of self-esteem today, right? Thought I was looking good, doing good. My son did good at a competition. Was feeling good about myself. Then I ran into this guy. Talk about putting me in my place. This guy's name is at God Inside Bob Hickman.
Greetings, I'm about to start a new job. I just went out and rode the bike and I did it a little bit too hard. My system is turned on a little too much. It's going to be an uncomfortable night. I won't sleep, but that's what I needed to do. Much big greetings, I'm about to start a new job. I just went out and rode the bike and I did it.
Talk about a self-esteem killer. And then almost immediately, I was like, I gotta get off Instagram, right? These people are fucking mogging me. I gotta get off Instagram. Went to TikTok, and then this guy has to show me up. Oh, this bad son of a bitch.
Best part about living in a motorhome, Subway sandwich.
Wait for the face reveal.
Feeling like a villain. What's up, folks? Talking TikTok, living in a motorhome. Subway. In a Subway parking lot. With a dog on the dash. Best part about living in a motorhome, Subway sandwich.
Is he in his underwear?
Best part about living in a motorhome, Subway sandwich. Eating it in the Subway parking lot. Feeling like
They know there's an option not to post videos, right? Like, they don't have to post this. No one's making them, right?
a villain. What's up, folks? Talking TikTok, living in a motorhome. Subway. In a Subway parking lot.
Eating Subway in a Subway parking lot. Dog on a dash.
What about living in a motorhome?
I don't know what this content is. If you want to learn about RV life, if you want to learn about RV life, come to the right place.
DIY. Ghetto curtain. DIY.
It's an educational channel, thank God.
DIY. Oh yeah. Ghetto curtain. DIY.
He does little concerts.
The weed. I did. What you gonna do about it?
So check out how I drove this RV from over 1,000 miles.
Oh man, no.
From Indiana.
No, that's the gas tank.
15-gallon fuel tank. Little fuel pump. Wires ran to my battery.
I understand like getting it home or something to like repair it properly. What is this?
Toggle switch. Turns it on and off.
DIY.
That is how I drove this RV to Arizona.
Is that one of Eli's piss jugs on the dash?
That's how I drove this RV.
100%. 100%. That's his urine. But why would he put the straw back in it? I don't know. I don't know. That's his urine. Moving on.
Mr. Lyons, what guidance have you given to your agents about asking people walking on the streets of America to show proof of citizenship?
Sir, as I stated earlier, the men and women of ICE, deportation officers, special agents, we conduct targeted intelligence-driven operation. We don't walk around on the streets asking people about their American.
So they claim we do targeted investigations and operations. We don't walk around, and we're not allowed to, right? We have no jurisdiction over U.S. citizens. But we don't walk around just asking U.S. citizens for their IDs. How do you explain pulling over brown off-duty cops? Not that cops have any more rights than the rest of us, but that definitely does better in the news when they're like, I was just on my way to work. Was that a targeted, intelligence-driven operation?
Citizenship.
Really? So all of those individual American citizens who have been randomly asked are lying. Is that what you're saying?
Sir, if the men and women of ICE are conducting an investigation, whether it be for Title 8 immigration enforcement or Title 18 criminal enforcement, they'll ask someone their nationality.
Right, but that's not targeted because they're asking all sorts of American citizens, including off-duty law enforcement. Do you know what other regimes in the 20th century required similar proof of citizenship?
Yes, sir.
What?
Sir, there was various nefarious regimes that did that.
Is Nazi Germany one?
Yes, but
is the Soviet Union one?
I honestly,
sir, I'm asking the questions. Is the Soviet Union one?
Yes, sir, but I totally, this is the wrong type of questioning.
I'll tell you what the wrong type of
actually,
thing
sir,
is. Sir, it's
Holocaust Museum.
Reclaiming my time, sir.
If you want to
reclaiming my time, Mr. Chairman.
It's not the men and women of ICE that are out there doing it every day. So to say that the men and women of ICE are
Mr. Chairman.
Wait, he's about to drop the line.
Claiming my time. I would like my time back, please. You said in your opening statement that references to ICE as the Gestapo or the secret police encourages threats against ICE agents.
100%.
The problem is you have it backwards, sir. People are simply making valid observations about your tactics, which are un-American and
if not fascist. Why fascist shaped?
Outright fascist. So I have a simple suggestion. If you don't want to be called a fascist regime or secret police, then stop acting like one. But people are simply just observing what...
If you don't want to be called the Gestapo and the secret police, stop acting like the Gestapo and the secret police, bro.
They are seeing, and that's why people are making those comments. Mr. Lyons, what guidance have you given to...
Also, here's a little palate cleanser for you. You guys heard about Cuck Jesus?
I've shared a lot of unhinged mega pastor videos with you guys before.
He's a pastor. I did not make this up. I'm not just trying to make fun of your religion or whatever if you're a Christian. There's a pastor that did this.
The most unhinged yet.
Nothing's hidden. He sits in the theater room of your soul and sees everything that goes across your screen, guys.
You can see where this is going.
Your whole pornography thing, you think like no one knows it? God's watching it with you. He waits till you reach climax.
Why wouldn't he just tell you to stop?
God, if he only knew me. If he only knew me. If he only desired to know me I would be his climax.
I would be his climax.
Okay. What is wrong with you?
He's not mad.
I kind of wish he was. I don't like that he's indifferent to this.
He just sees it. He sees it. In the frenzy and in the heat of a husband that is cheating on his wife. He sees it. He's right there in bed with you. He's right there in bed with you, and he's seeing it all. He's watching it.
Stop. Stop.
He is watching you look into the woman that you're not in covenant with. He is watching through your eyes, through your frenzy, through your passion, through you thinking that that's your life.
Can he stop?
All the while in your heart saying, this is not who I created you to be.
They're not okay, dude, and they're getting more unwell by the day. Oh my God. I've shared a lot of unhinged mega pastor videos with you guys before, but
That's kind of strange, right? So he watches me masturbate, and then he says to himself, if only he knew me, I would be his climax. I would be him finishing into a dirty sock. I'd be his money shot. Oh, which reminds me, new favorite channel in case you're on the lookout for one. I know you guys, a lot of time on your hands, probably looking for a channel when I'm not live. And it's called Glory Hole Dogs, where they do real hot dog reviews in Los Angeles.
one more. Okay.
By the way, Jesus watches this too, but I heard he's a fan of hot dogs. I don't know. Kosher dogs.
You know, one more.
Yeah, give him a little more. There we go. Oh yeah.
Wow.
It's not bad.
I feel like I shouldn't like this. But I kind of do.
You were watching Judas Priest.
I think dogs got decent flavor. Nothing to rave about.
I'm going to counter that. This is one of my proudest faps.
But this salsa, this mango salsa, has got a nice kick. It's truly fresh. It hasn't been pre-packed.
This is a real hot dog. They list the price, the name of it, where you can get it from
And filled with
in Los
sugar.
Angeles.
It's just pure mango bliss. Oh my God.
Dog Chicks, hot dog and hot chicken, corny dog for $9. Get it in LA. Slipping the creamy, cheesy corn wets dog from Dog Chicks into the mouth next. Hashtag FYP. Hashtag Los Angeles. Hashtag ASMR. God damn. Who wouldn't love it? I wish somebody'd feed me hot dogs like this. Hashtag same team all the time.
I've lived in darkness a long time, but this makes it worth it. Yeah.
If this isn't legal on the freest country in the fucking world, I don't know that I want to be America anymore. This better be legal. I'm a consenting adult.
The cheese, the mayo, the sweet corn, the bun, everything. Everything is what I would want in a perfect sweet and savory combination of flavors. I can honestly say this is one of the best that I have had. I'm gonna give this a 9.6.
Pretty good. A 9 out of 10? Just enjoying some hot dog reviews. What are you up to? Back in LA, taking care of your favorite mouth with a healthy choice. Carney's Red Baron Dog. Hashtag dog, hashtag hot dog, hashtag FYP, hashtag glizzy. Red Baron hot dog from Carney's.
What do we have here?
Hot dog reviews, buddy. You've never seen a hot dog review channel?
What is that? The smell is just so strong. It's
See, man. That's something you want to hear at the glory hole. The smell is just so strong, overpowering.
I don't want any more of this. It must be cabbage, which seems way too cooked. The smell and flavor's way too overpowering. The dog seems like something you can get anywhere, but overall, I'd give this a 2.
He did take another bite still.
What is that?
Oh, what is this? Oh, it's a mobile glory hole dog. Spicy hot dog. Burgers Handmade 13. What the fuck? Why'd they make a mobile version?
This is so good.
What did I tell you?
太棒了
Amazing.
这个热狗
This hot dog.
我吃出来里面是
I can taste
香肠
the German sauce. Okay. Well, don't do that. Oh God. Oh, okay. Back in LA. Pure beef burgers, Pete's Blue Chip, pure beef burgers, chili dog. I think that's what I had. Chili cheese and onion on my hot dog today.
Oh no.
Dr. J's trying to scrub her history.
How am I supposed to eat that?
I feel like there's too much audio.
Oh. Okay. Well, I can honestly say this has been better than some of the others. But that being said, it's still subpar. Who wants a whole onion where I have to chew through it?
I thought the rule was no talking at the hole, or at least that's the only rule I've ever been given. Moving along.
Name the undisputed. Just when did this come out, Mr. Speaker? Name the undisputed. Just when did this come out, Mr. Speaker? Name the undisputed. Just when did this come out?
He's trying to say undersecretary.
Mr. Speaker. Name the undisputed. Just when did this come out, Mr. Speaker? Name the undisputed. Just when did this come out, Mr. Speaker? Name the undisputed, just when did this come out, Mr. Speaker? Name the undisputed, just when did this come out, Mr. Speaker? Name the undisputed, just when did this come out, Mr. Speaker? Name the undisputed, just when did this come out, Mr.
And I said, I'm not.
Have you heard this clip? He was trying to say undisputed, but he was supposed to say undersecretary.
And I said, I'm not.
Hold on. I got a longer clip I can show you. I think that's what he said. I've seen the full clip in context. I just grabbed the short one.
And I'm proud to officially name the undisputed, just when did this come out, Mr. Speaker? The undisputed champion of...
Oh, maybe you're right. I thought he said undersecretary.
Beautiful,
you're right.
Clean call. We have to proceed. Always, I don't use the word call. You know, it needs a PR job because had a bad reputation for to officially name the undisputed...
Why did I think he said undersecretary? Oh, I guess because I thought he was naming a guy. I don't know.
Just when did this come out, Mr. Speaker? The undisputed champion of beautiful, clean call. We have to proceed. Always, I don't use the word call. You know, it needs a PR job because had a bad reputation for a while. So we're not allowed to say
Kev.
the word call anymore. It has to be preceded by beautiful, clean call. Okay? And I'm proud to officially name...
All right, back at it. Have you guys heard this clip?
And I said, I'm not scared of a germ. You know, I used to snort cocaine off of toilet seats. And I know this disease will kill me. Right. Like if I don't. And I said, I'm not scared of a germ. You know, I used to snort cocaine off of toilet seats. And I know this disease will kill me. Right. Like if I don't. And I said, I'm not scared of a germ. Right. You know, I used to snort cocaine off of toilet seats. And I know this disease will kill me. Right. Like if I don't. And I said, I'm not scared of a germ. You know, I used to snort cocaine off of toilet seats. And I know this disease will kill me. Right. Like if I don't. And I said, I'm not scared of a germ. You know, I used to snort cocaine off of toilet seats. And I know this disease will kill me. Right. Like if I don't. And I said, I'm not scared of a germ. You know, I used to snort cocaine off of toilet seats. And I know this disease will kill me. Right. Like if I don't. And I said, I'm not scared of a germ. You know, I used to snort cocaine off of toilet seats. And I know this disease will kill me. Right. Like if I don't. And I said, I'm not scared of a germ.
Kind of strange way to lead off, you know? Or whatever. I mean, do whatever you want.
Trump's approval rating is at the lowest it has been his entire term thus far. And a lot of that
but he's never lost a poll on fucking Twitter.
Sentiment is coming from people's perception of what ICE is doing on the ground in Minnesota and other states around the country. But if you're getting your news
they tried to use a Twitter poll to prove that the Bad Bunny, that the Tapusa halftime show was watched by more people than the Bad Bunny halftime show on a Twitter poll. A Twitter poll.
X, formerly known as Twitter.
Yes, the way his voice sounds like it was experimented on by the military in the 60s. Yes.
Or from one of the major conservative broadcasting channels like Fox, you might not know how much average Americans hate Trump right now. X as a platform is no longer Twitter.
Facebook is pretty bad too. If you get in certain circles, there are other circles, like there's the libertarian pages that I follow that are calling him out now. Some of them that have always been calling him out, which I believe are probably the truest of the libertarian pages. But you can get in certain groups. So X is bad, Twitter's bad. You can get in certain groups on Facebook where they're like, no way, bullshit, lies. Nobody did this. Nobody says that. Everybody loves Trump. Someone posted in one of these disabled veteran groups I'm in the other day, how are you making it with the current economy? And instantly they're like, so much better than Biden. I can't believe I lived under Biden. Biden. And it's not even any better, guys. Like, it's the same inflation rate he took office with. What are you doing?
It's been turned into a hostile pro-Trump environment, regardless of who you are or what you really think. That's why it's so skewed when it comes to understanding how most Americans, as well as people around the world, are really feeling about ICE and the Trump administration at large. You really can't trust anything that's happening on X, and I hope that this encourages at least some people to spend more time elsewhere.
Twitter's pretty bad. I'll tell you that much. It is pretty bad. They're right. I wanted to see, was it the Joe Rogan clip I was looking for? I don't know what this is. I just saw a preview of it.
Oh, FBI.
Joe Rogan reacts to FBI saying Epstein wasn't running a sex trafficking ring for powerful men.
Included Jeffrey
Yeah, you had Kash Patel right in front of you. He said he's seen it all. There's no evidence whatsoever.
Wasn't running a sex trafficking ring for powerful men. File show.
So there you go.
Oh, well, there you go. Who says that? What's that source?
Yeah, that's going around the. I just
the FBI
showing the headline. It was going around the internet.
Oh, today?
Yeah, the AP. It's the AP reporting it. Yeah.
Today.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was. I thought that was from 2005.
This is like the FBI.
I was like,
that's
That's the gaslightiest gaslighting shit I've ever heard in my life.
Whoa.
What do they think is going on? Just a bunch of fun, bunch of guys hanging out.
That is
being fellas, having cocktails, talking about science.
Still looking at
oh, FBI concluded Jeffrey Epstein wasn't running a sex trafficking ring.
Damn. And y'all helped get him elected, made him seem fucking normal, let him get by with his bullshit, never challenged him when he straight up fucking lied to you about it all. Just sat there and said, oh yeah, it sounds like a good idea. Who doesn't want murderers out of the country? Why wouldn't we just do that? This is my guy here. This is the comments guy. So basically he finds Facebook posts full of maggots and then just reads the comments. We used to do this, read the comments and scream when they're in all caps. I still do it sometimes. This guy's good at it.
Charlie spikes the ball. Turning Point USA's All-American Halftime Show wins the Super Bowl. Yes! Glory to God! Kid Rock closed for Jesus. Absolutely undeniable. It's called Real Talent. 6 stars. We don't know, but we know. Yes! So much better and more patriotic and beautiful. T-Pussy all the way! T-Pussy baked at around 6 mil. T-Pussy was the best halftime show since Prince. That's when I'm typically pulling stuff off the grill and eating. My family watched the T-Pussy show. Way more family friendly for our grandkids. I was at a big Super Bowl party and all 4 TVs tuned to the T-Pussy halftime show. The game was a snore. T-Pussy gave Americans an alternative.
Yeah, I call mine dramatic ratings.
To globalist third world commie bullsh LUSA US flag. Awesome US flag. God bless America, US flag. Yes. US flag clap 100s US flags. Watched it and loved it. Clap Liberian flag. Excellent show. -- real Americans dots. People weren't watching BB. Their TVs were left on while they were up peeing, getting beer, and eating nachos. The thing is, we will never know how many people actually watched Bad Bunny and how many left the room to use the toilet or fill the snack bowl. But logging into TPUSA was a choice. When I was watching on YouTube, it showed 5 million were watching on YouTube at that time. The bottom line, it's good versus evil, and the King of King always wins. Hands up! They did a great job, and next year it will even be better. Charlie spikes the ball. Turning Point USA.
Damn.
Trump backs Attorney General Pam Bondi. Love her. Go Pam Bondi. Pam, you are the best. Keep up the good work. Pam Bondi is fierce and did an awesome job. Hands up. She is so hot and she should run for president. That's why she makes the big bucks. Hope she gets all them Democrats. Why didn't Biden get the Epstein files out? I don't care about Epstein. Water under the bridge. Zero evidence to charge anyone. The comic tats should be all arrested. Dow is 50. S&P is over 7,000. That's what we have to talk about, not the PD files. What a shame of a group that is destroyed.
That guy's name is Dojchinowski. He's absolutely not a Russian bot. That says the Dow is over 50,000, S&P over 7,000. That's what we have to talk about, not the pedophiles. What a shame of a group that is destroying America. They couldn't spot this fucking bot, dude. His name is 17 characters long, and there's 2 vowels. Come on.
America, like U.S. flag arm. Perfect. Pam and team is super. U.S. flag. Congratulations, Pam Bondi. Liberian flags clap. I give her 1,000% praise for putting down that demonic and disgusting male bullying. She held her own dash, and I'm still praying for her to keep it up. Who the heck do they think they are to treat a woman that way? Shame on them, Dash. Dismiss them, Dash. They are worthless. Way to go, Miss Attorney General. This is all smoke and mirrors, Dots. Trump was the whistleblower and put Epstein in jail, Dots. The hollering is now exposing the Democrats, Dots. Those women were a part of the trafficking, Dots. They won't say names because they were a part of the grooming, Dots. Let's move on already, Dots. Nothing will ever happen, Dots. It's all a BS Democrat hoax, Dots. Bondi, Dots. Doing exactly what Trump is telling her to do, Dots. Move on.
By the way, the new theory that's going around the MAGA circles is Trump had to appear to be protecting pedophiles because he knows the Democrats disagree with him on everything. So he would look like he's protecting pedophiles, which would make the Democrats not protect the pedophiles, which would make the pedophiles exposed, but he still looks like he's protecting pedophiles.
Trump backs Attorney General Pam Bondi. Love her. Charlie, the Super Bowl halftime show is absolutely terrible. One of the worst ever. It makes no sense, is an affront to the greatness of America, and doesn't represent our standards of success, creativity, or excellence. Nobody understands a word this guy is saying, and the dance is disgusting, especially for young children that are watching from throughout the USA and all over the world. This show is just a slap in the face to our country, which is setting new standards and records every single day. M-dash, including the best stock market and 401ks in history. There is nothing inspirational.
This M-dash is usually a sign of this is put together with AI. Like even if they typed in a bunch of things and said, make me a post, no one uses this extra long dash here, except AI uses it all the time.
About this mess of a halftime show, and watch, it will get great reviews from the fake news media because they haven't got a clue of what is going on in the real world. M-dash. And by the way, the NFL should immediately replace its ridiculous new kickoff rule. Make America great again! President Donald J. Trump! Thank you for your attention to this crybaby back bitch. The Super Bowl Is this what the Super Bowl halftime show is going to look like on Sunday? Will you be
considering that's an AI photo, probably not.
watching? He'll know. He'll know. No and he'll know. Not on any TV I own. Not on my TV, Ducks. We won't know. Not watching.
He'll know.
I could care less. It will not be on my TV. Bad Bunny, no. T-Pussy, yes. T-Pussy halftime show. Kid Rock and T-Pussy for the win. T-Pussy for Mr. Halftime is T-Pussy 100. Only the game. Halftime, Charlie Kirk. I'm watching the other halftime show. The Charlie Kirk special. Half a game is better than none. I hear drones are coming halftime. U.S. flag. What Super Bowl halftime show? They still do that? U.S. flag? Nope. I heard there's another one happening. Wink, Liberian flag, eagle. Ice in, get 'em all ice. They should have ICE agents at every entrance. This would be the NFL's Bud Light moment. Now, commas, he's from South America in his cocktail dress. It's a slumber party for anarchists. Looks more like the Sugar Bowl. They said the men are wearing thongs. Bundle of sticks out. Some jokes just write themselves. Surprise guest, hologram of Elvis. Just saying. Pool my eyes out, please. High five. I'd rather poop and pee all day.
What? Ricardo.
Five.
I'd rather poop and pee all day. Is that true, Ricardo? I don't believe it. Also, I like this guy. You guys should follow him. Facebook comments guy over on TikTok. I don't know if you guys were paying attention to Hollywood, right? A lot of pedophiles there or whatever. New Jason Bourne movie's coming out. They just released one of the trailers. Here it is.
All right, I'm checking on the target. Target's visible. Waiting for the go-ahead. Jason! Wait a second. Jason Bourne! Are you in here? Yeah? There you are. Oh, hi, boss. Hey. Okay, so I got eyes on the target, and we're gonna get him. No. Don't worry about that shit. We got something new for you. A different mission? Yeah, this is your new thing. Here, take this. What is this? Just black out anything that says the president did molesting. Okay? What? I don't understand. Oh, and here's a list of rich people who Venmoed us enough to have us take the names off of the document for them. So do those two, please. Wait, no. Thanks, Jason. Hold on, this has to be some sort of mistake. I've been trained by the government to be able to survive in almost any conditions, and I know karate and jujitsu, and I can use any object as a weapon to kill a man. Can you use a marker? What? Do you know how to use a marker? Like as a weapon to kill a man? No, like as a marker. Yeah? Then start hiding crimes, bro. Is it for America? What? Like, would I be helping my country? Yeah, sure, dude. Look, we also need you to start trolling Greta Thunberg on Twitter using various accounts. Various accounts? Yeah, like different Twitter accounts. Are those sort of like aliases? What? Like, are these different accounts kind of like secret identities? No. Could you please say that they are secret identities? What? That would be nice. No. It doesn't. You don't lose anything. Just say it. Just say that they're secret identities. Okay, yeah, go troll Greta Thunberg using several secret identities for America. Yeah, for America. On it, boss! All right, I'm checking on the target.
On it, boss! My secret identities! I'm on it! Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense, to be honest with you. You guys want to hear the funniest interaction between Kash Patel before he was the FBI director and a federal judge? Maybe the funniest interaction. Just listen. It's hilarious.
I've never met Kash Patel after this gets posted.
And by the way, I did look this up. It's all in court documents. Anybody can look it up.
I might.
Fan of the show, Kash Patel.
With a grand jury subpoena or an indictment. But I do know many years ago when he was with Maine Justice, there was a case going on here in Houston that was prosecuted by 2 or 3 very competent AUSAs, very respected. And Patel showed up, interjected himself more or less into the case at a time when he probably shouldn't have. There was a judge by the name of Lynn Hughes. Lynn Hughes is retired now. But full disclosure, Lynn Hughes was not a fan of Maine Justice, so I guess Patel has that excuse. But he shows up in chambers without a suit, without a tie. So he walks in, and here's the transcript. The judge says, "What's your role in this?" And Patel says, "I'm a member of the trial team from the counterterrorism section." Judge Hughes, "You're not a member of the trial team. It's been going on for a month and you haven't been here." And Judge Hughes, "Where's your tie? Where's your suit?" Now, let's think about this. This guy is a lawyer from Maine Justice and comes into the chambers of a federal judge without a suit and without a tie. And at some point, he says, "Well, I'm here to help the locals." And Judge Hughes says, he doesn't need help. That's why McIntyre, another good lawyer, or a good lawyer, and he says, "The last thing I need here, Patel, is a bureaucrat who flies down here and causes trouble than actually is a productive member of the team." Next page. Hughes says, look at this. Judge Hughes has to tell Kash Patel, who's a grown-ass man, probably 35 at the time this is happening, "If you want to be a lawyer, dress like a lawyer." "I will, sir," "and act like a lawyer." But what is it that Washington needs people to report? "I want to know what your contribution is other than reading what happens and hearing what happens and then talking. What's your value? Why can't you supervise from a desk in Washington or Tajikistan?" Sir, the agreement between the U.S. attorney here in Washington, the court says, what up? What? Speak up. The agreement here between the U.S. attorney here in Washington, D.C. was I was going to be a member of the trial team. And Judge Hughes says, that's not my agreement. I've got to get stuff done. And the concept that you keep saying I'm a member of the trial team, have you ever cross-examined a witness? Yes, sir. Where? I was a defender in Miami for 9 years. Were you a public defender? Yes, sir. Are you going to take a witness? I imagine so. Judge Hughes, I don't. You don't know anything about trying a case. You have two lawyers. A federal judge is telling the now director of the FBI, you don't know anything about trying the case. You have two lawyers. The government has 117 lawyers over in the Wells Fargo building, which is right down the street. What do you supply that none of them can supply? I don't believe I'm any better. So what's the utility of coming here, having the people of America fly you down here at their expense, eat at their expense, and stay at their expense when there are plenty of capable other people over here in this room? You don't add a bit of value. Now, I've been a lawyer a long time. I've had my ass chewed.
That's scathing, right? What the fuck are you doing? You don't add any value. This judge orders what he calls an order on ineptitude against Kashyap Patel.
Few times, but not like this. And at the end of it, he says, Judge Hughes, look at the bottom left. You can't even articulate where you bring this to where we don't have two lawyers already assigned to it. You may be excused. Basically threw him out of chambers, and then the judge issues an order of ineptitude. I've been a lawyer a long time. I've tried cases in lots of places. I've never seen anything close to this. And here is Judge Hughes's order. This is from 2016. On ineptitude. I've never even heard of that. That's like getting kicked out of Guns N' Roses. That is hard to do. If the pretentious lawyers from, quote, Maine, close quote, justice knew what they were doing, or had the humility to ask for help from the United States Attorney for the Southern District of Texas, it would not have taken 3 days, 7 telephone calls, 3 voicemail message, and 1 snippy electronic message for them to directly ask the court for assistance in ordering a transcript. The Washington lawyers could have looked at the court's website. I mean,
and then they list the website.
As big a scolding as you're going to get. And that guy is the director of the FBI.
Here's an article from it in 2016. It says, a federal judge in Houston has issued an order on ineptitude that takes pretentious lawyers from the U.S. Justice Department to task for experiencing difficulties when trying to order a transcript from the court. U.S. District Judge Lynn Hughes issued the unusual order in the prosecution of Omar Faraj Saeed Al-Harden, who is accused of trying to support ISIS, report the Houston Chronicle and Click 2 Houston. Quote, if the pretentious lawyers from the Maine Justice knew what they were doing or had the humility to ask for help from the United States Attorney for the Southern District of Texas, it would not have taken 3 days, 7 telephone calls, 3 voicemail messages, and 1 snippy electronic message for them to indirectly ask the court for assistance in ordering a transcript. Hughes tells the ABA Journal he can't discuss the order because the case is pending. But if the order is not self-explanatory, then I have failed, he added. The U.S. Justice Department had sought the transcript of an episode in which a judge berated a Justice Department lawyer and then excused him from the courtroom, the Washington Post reports. Hughes unsealed the transcript at the Washington Post request. The Post described the courtroom incident as a Texas-size bollocking over proper attire, wasting taxpayer money, and spying for the bureaucrats in Washington. The lawyer, Kashyap Patel, had arrived in court after flying to Houston from Tajikistan. Quote, what is your role in this? Hughes asked when Patel entered the courtroom. Patel responded that he was a member of the trial team. Quote, you're not a member of the trial team. It's been going on for a month or so, and you haven't been here, have you? Hughes wasn't finished. And where's your tie? Where's your suit? He asked. Patel explained that he just flew in from overseas and he didn't wear a suit on the plane. Hughes then demanded that Patel get his passport, apparently for verification of his trip. If you want to be a lawyer, dress like a lawyer, Hughes said. The judge then noted there were plenty of prosecutors in the nearby U.S. Attorney's office and asked Patel how he would contribute to this case. What is the utility to me and to the people of America to have you fly down here at their expense, eat at their expense, and stay at their expense when there are plenty of capable people over there in this room, plus over there? You're just one more non-essential employee from Washington. You don't add a bit of value, do you? At this point, Hughes told Patel, you may be excused. The Houston Chronicle spoke with a South Texas law professor, Jeffrey Korn, for his take on the ineptitude order. Quote, it's just a slap in the face is what it is, Korn said. When you are a judge, you get the prerogative of saying what you feel and putting it in a ruling of ineptitude. He continued. I've never seen anything like that. A visit from the government website for Hughes produces audio for the Battle Hymn of the Republic. Hughes tells the ABA Journal it's his favorite song, and it's been on his website for 15 years. He also says the hold music for the courthouse callers is America the Beautiful, a song he suggested to replace the bad music from the 70s. Kind of put Patel in his place, I think, for just showing up, basically showing up for a photo op, really, to throw your name onto something and be like, I was part of that. The government has fucking thousands of lawyers in Houston. Why did they fly one in from Tajikistan to Washington to Houston to show up at a case a month after it started for one day and then get banned from the courtroom by the judge? Essentially banned. He wasn't actually banned, but he never came back after that.
Can't use the stock market as a distraction from the redacted files because we're all broke. Do you not understand that? That's how bad of a lawyer the attorney general is. Oh, stop bringing up the redacted files. Stop talking about old stuff, okay? The stock market's never been higher. Look at the S&P. I don't look at the S&P. You know why? Because in the Wall Street Journal, they're saying that millennials are splurging on extravagant things like rotisserie chicken. They're calling food an extravagant expense. And you want to talk about the fucking stock market instead of talking about a massive ring of redacteds who are putting kids on a redacted island. That's what you want to talk about? Attorney General of the United States, the head of the Department of Justice, in front of the Judiciary Committee of Congress, sitting there going, oh, why are you bringing up the redacted files? Why are we talking about this? Oh, I'll tell you.
Here's another thing. It's a first impression thing with Kash Patel. Like, I understand if, like, maybe he had already been on this case, he'd already met this judge, he'd already made a good impression. Then he was traveling, he came straight from the airport, and he's like, sorry, I know I'm not in the proper attire. I had to rush here for this. Flight was delayed, whatever. But your very first impression showing up in fucking jogging pants and a hoodie?
Why? Because the day before they talked to the man in charge of the stock market, the Secretary of Commerce. You know what came up there? The redacted files. Because he's fucking in them. He lied about hanging out with the guy who's the name of the redacted files. You know why he lied about it? Because he was his next door neighbor. Can't use the stock market as a...
I love when Promania crashes out. Oh, did you guys know that Charlie Kirk was an X-Man? Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens are X-Men. Like the comic book. They have special powers. They went to a special school. The lights flicker when they enter a room. They thought that was completely normal. And the fact that they can astral project. They're like, what? Everybody can't astral project? And the lights don't always cut off when I go into a room? And you remember that special school where they made us bend a spoon with our mind? Everybody didn't go there?
Charlie and I spoke a lot about his third eye. He spoke about the street lamps
third eye
off when he would run, about the special school that he had to go to. He spoke about a lot of the things that were strange in our childhood, the testing that both of us had to endure. We spoke about the fact that we could both astral project. Look, I have seen enough, ladies and gentlemen. I've seen enough. Erica Kirk should be dragged into a police precinct for questioning. Like I said, we are way beyond coincidence. This is now a full-blown conspiracy. Charlie and I, and when I revealed to the public that he had predicted his own death in remarkable detail, maybe you went back and you read the rest of those messages, the ones that I haven't yet revealed to the public, because in retrospect, those messages they're pretty terrifying because they're precise and it feels prophetic. Charlie was gifted, you know that, I know that, and the government most certainly knew that as well, since he was a kid, which is why it was at least very interesting to me that you told the New York Times, something that most people didn't pay attention to, but you told the New York Times the night before his murder.
Charlie would come home and throw his phone in the drawer and say, Shabbat Shalom. Oh, yeah? It's a weird thing to say for a fucking, Protestant Christian thinking about converting to Catholicism. Shabbat Shalom. That's what he would say when he put his phone in the drawer. That's weird.
And I'm going to quote this. You said that Charlie's adrenal glands were just going off. He couldn't sleep. I know enough about Charlie to know what that means. That means that Charlie was being bothered. He was probably having visions like he was in 2018. Probably a clearer vision than the one that I had that you guys tried to mock. That danger was coming. And I'm going to go ahead and say that it wasn't about a Jezebel article written by some leftist. Please stop saying that because it's not true. I know Charlie, a leftist article didn't upset him in this way. Didn't make him call a priest to pray over him. He thought someone was going to kill him. He did express that in writing, and you did not lose those text messages.
Mazel tov.
Charlie and I
That's what I
spoke
say.
a lot about his third eye. That's why that sentence caught my attention in the article. He spoke about the street lamps that would go off when he would run, about the special school.
Third eye. Street lamps would go off when he would run. He was sent to a special school to test him for his powers.
That he had to go to. We spoke about a lot of the things that were strange in our childhood, the testing that both of us had to endure.
Testing they went through.
Astral project. You know all of this, of course. You have his phone.
Astral projection.
How surprised we were when we learned that not everybody.
Astral projection is where you literally can project your conscience out of your body to a different place, to someone else's body, to nature, to the ocean, whatever, right? You close your eyes and you're still physically here, but you take whatever your soul is and send it somewhere else where you can see and hear and feel what's going on in a different place. And a lot of times people claim that they can see stuff happening or the future or they were somewhere else and they can read billboards and see the people going by.
Does that naturally. Sleep paralysis, you name it. We had conversations about it. And if Charlie's adrenal glands were going off, it was probably
X-Men University.
I pulled
with Xavier
of school days before he was murdered because I sensed danger. Pulled my kids out of school days before he was murdered. Adrenal glands were going off. It was probably maybe for the very same reason that I pulled my kids out of school days before he was murdered because I sensed danger was coming. And I revealed to the public that he had predicted his own.
I don't believe any of it's true, but okay.
Charlie was gifted. You know that. I know that. And the government most certainly knew that as well.
Wait do you see? Hold on. Wait do you see? Where can I get it at Twitter? Nick Fuentes is done with these motherfuckers, by the way. Nick Fuentes is like, what? I thought we were just rounding up fucking Jews and stuff. Now...
It's written all over her face. You can literally see it in her eyes that she is a stupid bitch. It's written all over her face.
I was in every gifted and talented program, plus some weird program where I'm pretty sure they were recruiting for the CIA when I was in school. The only reason I know this is because the guy that one of the last guys I was in it with, I've told this story in more detail, kind of making fun of Phil with it, but one of the last guys I was in with it literally went immediately from this program we were in that was labeled as something else, right? He literally went, I chose sports and kind of dropped out. He went on to West Point and become a fucking secret squirrel right out of this program. So either it really was just for like college and this and to get you ready for college like they claimed it was, and he went to West Point and did so well that the CIA recruited him, or it was some type of recruiting activity for the CIA.
It's like these eyes that are very knowing, but also hollow. Eyes are the window to the soul. And you could see in her eyes the way that she's making this expression, that she's very confident, but also complete fucking idiot. You can see in her eyes that she's like smug, she's confident, but also nobody's home. Lights on, nobody's home. You can literally see it in her face. All right, but let's play the clip.
Charlie and I spoke a lot about his third eye. That's
his third eye. Look at her whole demeanor.
A lot about his third eye.
We spoke a lot about his third eye. Bitch, that's insane. He does not have a... Charlie Kirk had a third eye? Dude,
I'm not a fan of Nick Fuentes, but this is funny.
Chill, his third fucking eye? Like he does not have a... Charlie Kirk had a third eye? Dude, he was like a mega church Republican shill, his third fucking eye. Like he was in India. Yeah, somehow I don't think Charlie was like an expert on non-dualism and Eastern mysticism. She says it like I don't even, what even is that face? What are you so smug about? Charlie Kirk's third eye? Like in between mega church sermons and Republican donor meetings, he was playing the mandolin. Or what's the instrument they play over there? Like it was the Magical Mystery Tour. You know, he's in fucking Phoenix, Arizona in an industrial park plotting how they're going to get out the vote for the Republican majority for the fucking, you know, Turning Point Faith with Billy Graham's kid. And in between all that, yeah, it was like the Magical Mystery Tour, you know. In between that, it was Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, right? He was opening his third eye. He took off his like...
The sitar, I think that's what he's talking about.
Not mandolin, the sitar.
Yeah.
In between his meetings where he's impersonating Trump and Tucker with his navy suit and his red tie that's too long. Yeah, it was like the Magical Mystery Tour, for sure. It was like Donovan.
That's why that sentence caught my attention in the article. He spoke about the street lamps that would go off when he would run, about the special school that he had to go to. We spoke about a lot of the things that were strange in our childhood, the testing that both of us had to endure.
The what testing? Dude, it's like somebody went to Candace Owens and said, bend the spoon. Like, what are you talking about, you crazy bitch? What the fuck are you talking about? The special school we went to? What do you mean? Wizards of Waverly Place? She went to Wizard Academy? What are you talking about? The special schools for the gifted, the special schools for psychics, and the battery of magical tests. They gave us wands. They told us to open portals. Class, today we're opening portals. Bend the spoon, open the portals.
He's so done with these people. Like, he just wanted to be a normal fucking racist.
Give me a break, dude.
Both astral project. You know all of this, of course. You have his phone. And how surprised we were when we learned that not everybody does that naturally. Sleep paralysis, you name it. We had conversations about it. Charlie and I...
Not everybody astral projects. We didn't know that. It came very easily to us. When we astral project into different locations in space, we didn't even realize people, oh, you don't do that? Oh, that's weird. It comes so easily to me. Don't you hate when you're having coffee with a friend or a peer? And you start talking about, you know, so I was astral projecting the other day and people go, wait, what? And you go, you know, so I was astral projecting. I was in another place. I was bilocating. People go, wait, what are you talking about? Oh, you don't do that? That's weird. It's so easy for me. I astral project all the time. It comes very easily to me. She says it came easily to us. We didn't know other people didn't do
Everybody does that naturally. Sleep paralysis, all of this, of course. You have his phone. And how surprised we were when we learned that not everybody does that naturally. Sleep paralysis, you name it.
We were shocked. We were shocked that not everybody does that. You know, me and Charlie Kirk were like, wait, you guys aren't astral projecting? They went to their Blexit meeting. So Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk walked into their Blexit fundraiser. That's some black exit from the Democratic Party. And we were sitting there talking about, hey, so I was astral projecting. Charlie was nodding along. But we noticed everyone at the table was dumbstruck. They had no idea what we're talking about. We looked at each other. We said, wait, you don't astral project? That's weird. We do it naturally all the time. Yeah, Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens astral projecting. Are you kidding me? That's where it is now.
He's like, dude, can't we just all hate brown people? Like, I'm fucking from Cuban descent. I hate brown people, right? Why can't you guys get on board? Jesus Christ. What are y'all doing? Why can't you get on board? What's happening here? I don't understand it. Insane, dude. Insane. She's just off her rocker, right? You can only call so many world leaders, transgender, and get sued and claim so many times that they sent that they're sending their special forces after you, and Donald Trump won't protect you before you have to reach out for all kinds of crazy shit, right? Astral projecting. This is just a history lesson in case you're interested.
The greatest gift history ever gave Richard Nixon was only remembering him for the Watergate break-in and none of the other nasty stuff he got into while he was in politics. Let me explain. Nixon bursts onto the national scene by successfully convicting Soviet spy Alger Hiss.
This is true because all I know about Nixon is the Watergate stuff, but he was a slimy piece of shit before that.
Successfully convicting
and after that.
Soviet spy Alger Hiss. And this makes him a household name, propels his career forward, and he ultimately ends up in the vice presidency under Dwight Eisenhower, where he gets caught taking a several $1,000 bribe and then whining and crying about it on TV through the Checkers speech, in which he admits that he took the money, but that it wasn't really that bad, and woe is me, all these elites are out to get me. In his first successful bid for the presidency, he wins the race by sabotaging peace talks in Vietnam. He brings in Republican fundraiser Anna Chennault, has her go to South Vietnam, and undermine the Johnson administration's secret peace talks as it tries to negotiate an early end to the war. He does this because he wants the Vietnam War to continue to drag down Johnson's approval rating into Election Day. This will draw the war out for 4 additional years and kill an additional 2 million people. Once in the White House, he sets up a secret basement office and lets his sycophants run a lot of the Vietnam Air War in secret outside the bounds of the law and often outside of the bounds of Vietnam's borders through Operation Menu, where they conduct secret bombing campaigns that are illegal on the neutral nations of Laos and Cambodia. As his re-election is approaching, he brings in this group of guys that start calling themselves the plumbers because their job is to plug leaks. And they run the gambit of illegal activity to guarantee Nixon's re-election bid. Things like breaking into healthcare offices and stealing people's medical records so that they can have their mental health issues blared out on the press whenever they criticize Nixon in public. Using the Attorney General of the United States to take bribe money from large corporations, offering them an exchange where they would not be prosecuted under antitrust legislation in exchange for donating to the Nixon campaign. And then, of course, Watergate itself. Nixon is worried that he will not be prepared for the national debates, and so he has a group of Cuban exiles break into the Watergate Hotel and attempt to wiretap the building. This, of course, unravels Nixon's presidency, but the worst of his scandals and the worst of his law-breaking don't come out until decades later. He never faces a single consequence. I wrote a book. If you want to support me directly and you like...
That's pretty insane, right? I like this guy's channel, by the way.
Sci-fi, you should read my book. Let's
watch some more videos, actually.
Audible, the cover's right there.
What's up, Beef Supreme?
Night Sky Darker. Thanks, smooches. The greatest gift history ever gave Richard Nixon was only remembering him. There's this very silly flavor of alt history that is always positing, well, the Germans could have won the Second World War if this, if that. Friends, that's not real. There is no world in which the Germans could have won the Second World War because the conditions under which they launched it doomed it from the start. In Evans's Third Reich in Power, we see an economic system being built through the 1930s that basically ensures that the mustache government is going to lose whatever war it starts, no matter what.
All he does is history stuff.
And there's 3 components to this we're going to look at, from least severe and impactful to, oh my God, how did you screw this up this badly? Least severe and impactful, graft. The entire economic model of the Third Reich is one of wealth extraction from everyone into the pockets of the party, from Hermann Goering's massive collection of estates that he is building.
Oh, speaking of history, me and Mariah were at, Greenville's got a bunch of historic shit. Like, there's still the Civil War trail or whatever, and this house where a Confederate general was drug out of and executed and for trying to run away by the Union soldiers, blah, blah, blah. We read all the plaques today when we were walking around.
By just sort of peeling money off of all of the various programs that the state is absorbing into itself. But more than this, a system of bribes and favors that from the very top of the chain, from the Führer's office all the way down, we have loyalty literally bought and paid for through the Strength Through Joy program that takes money out of the public coffers and hands it to social
I already follow it.
army officers or finance ministers to keep them going along with the party's program. Second is the economic model itself. It's nonsense economics, neither left-wing nor right-wing, like in the video we talked about yesterday, where industries are being privatized or nationalized seemingly at random, and mostly sort of coated with this gloss of party ideology, but mostly just to better absorb money from the public coffers and give it to the individuals running the system. Finally, most catastrophically, is the level of debt to GDP ratio that the Germans are operating on by the late 1930s before they ever launched the war, with the understanding that those debts will be paid once resources are extracted from the East and once settlement in the East begins. However, that alone is just the program of colonialism. What makes this particularly catastrophic for this particular government is there is no plan. It's just that statement, right? There's no plan of like, we are in...
How are we going to pay everything off? Well, we're just going to take everything from everybody else when we get there and take it over.
This amount of debt in these amount of ways, and then we will resolve that debt through these resources in the East. That does not exist.
That's right, hey, Barry.
Well, once we go over there, we'll figure it out.
At the same account.
But no one knows what that means. They just keep saying it. There's this very silly flavor of alt history that is always positing, well, the Germans could have won the Second World War if this, if that. Friends, that's not real. There is no world in which the Germans could have won the Second World War because the conditions under which they launched it.
What's this Civil War?
This soldiers were not fighting to free the slaves in the American Civil War. At first. Let me explain. In the early period of the war, we have this sort of competing notion of what the war is, where for the South, it very much is about the preservation of slavery. But for the North, it is about the preservation of the Union, not the ending of slavery to preserve the Union. And then the damnedest thing happens. They see it. They see it for the first time. These Union soldiers in the occupied South, before emancipation, they are not to be freeing slaves. They are not to be interrupting Southern life in any way whatsoever. Their job is to win the war and occupy the region to prevent the Confederate Army from retaking conquered territory. And as these soldiers are stationed in the South, and they're not on combat duty, they're curious. What's this whole slavery thing? Most of the Union troops, had never seen a black person before, let alone had any firsthand knowledge of slavery. And so they go into town and they ask for directions and they're, where's the nearest plantation? I want to see this thing for myself. And it radicalizes them. Upon seeing the Southern system of slavery for himself, Union Army Sergeant Cyrus Boyd writes, "By God, I will fight until hell freezes over, and then I will cut the ice and fight on." A group of Union soldiers see a planter beating one of their slaves for the first time, or rather a foreman beating a slave for the first time. They are so mortified by what they are watching that they hop the guy's fence, they go to the dude's house, they pull the slave off the stump that he's tied to, then they tie the foreman to the stump and they beat him with the same savagery that he was beating the slave. I wrote a book. If you want to support me directly, you can read it. It's on Amazon. Thanks.
Could you imagine not knowing it really existed in that way and then walking up on it one day? That's what fucking Iraq was like when you found out that they would fuck animals and shit and little boys, and it was fucking. I didn't know that people did that shit.
Let me tell you guys about this absolute freak. This is Ernst Röhm, the head of the Sturmbataillon, or Brown Shirts, as they're more commonly known. Röhm was a combat soldier, frontline guy during the Great War, and he spent a lot of time beating dudes down with shovels, so he's trauma up to his eyes. And he, like so many Germans, embraces the stabbed-in-the-back conspiracy theory as an explanation for why they lost the war. His shame and now questionable employment status drive him toward the Mustache Party, and he is an easy early adopter of its most extreme flavors. His brown shirts then take to the streets, clobbering all of Mustache Guy's political opponents. And he, Röhm himself, is a sort of double-down type person. He believes in permanent revolution, meaning you overthrow the existing power structure and then you overthrow the next power structure unto forever. Now, this has earned him some enemies in the party. After all, they've been working pretty hard to overthrow the existing power structure. They don't want to lose that once they spend all that time overthrowing the current one. But more than that, the size of the Sturmbataillon means that a little dude named Heinrich Himmler is a bit jealous. Himmler also has a paramilitary, and he wants all of the paramilitaries, not just his own. And so he hatches a plot to frame Röhm for plotting a coup, and then have Röhm and a lot of his leading men purged. And by that, I mean in the middle of the night. Röhm, however, is the world record holder for face most eaten by leopards because Röhm joins the party out of this sense of nationalistic fire, of racism, of homophobia, even as he himself is a practicing queer person. And then all of those things that made him such an ardent supporter of the party are turned against him by the party itself, and he in a jail cell. Leopards and faces, huh? Thanks. See you next time.
That's right.
Let me tell you guys about this If you've ever taken a high school history class, then you know that Hitler annexed Austria, and then that kind of started the ball rolling for World War II. It's how the annexation of Austria happened that I find fascinating. Let me explain. First, post-World War I, Austria is having a normal one, or rather, Austria-Hungary was having a normal one, and lots of pieces of it start breaking off, the Habsburg dynasty collapses, and you get a bunch of different kinds of countries flopping out the bottom of what used to be the Austro-Hungarian Empire. One of those is Austria, a right-wing dictatorship that forms in a monarchist-ish tradition that tries as hard as
I'm just learning stuff now.
affections and attentions of the old ruling class of the Austro-Hungarian Empire while building a national mindset of Austrianness to appease the working class. However, there is a large German-speaking population that is ethnically German, culturally German, along the Austrian-German border. And it's in that group where we see the Nazis make their inroad. The mustache people want to inspire the same kind of fascist revolution that they had in Germany in Austria. And they begin pumping money and propaganda into right-wing paramilitaries that are further right than the current right-wing government, and use those paramilitaries to disrupt normal activity and soften the government up for coming military action from Germany. So over a period of several years, we see a long-term propaganda campaign pushed out by these right-wing paramilitaries. We see anti-Semitic violence carried out by these right-wing paramilitaries, and we see the authoritarian government of Austria struggling to contain them. It bans the parties, bans their meetings, doesn't matter, they meet in secret. And the reason they're able to keep working so effectively is the primary group they're recruiting are law enforcement officers. They want to get into the cops so that when orders to arrest them are sent down, when orders to disrupt their rallies are sent down, the police simply stand by and watch because they consider their job of supervising the rally to just be attending the rally as a participant. And it works. They gain large inroads in the law enforcement arm of the Austrian government. And when Hitler comes in to start pressuring Austria to cede territory to Germany, the sitting government has been weakened for years by the actions of these paramilitaries and caves to the pressure. If you've ever taken a high school history class, then you know that Hitler annexed Austria.
There was a video of his that was really good the other day about the brown shirts and all the paramilitary groups, but I couldn't tell you fucking which one it was. And how, so all the paramilitary groups like the brown shirts come out of the end of World War I, right? And they're all sent back home. They're all combat experience. The same way that Russia can't get off a war footing right now. Because it basically, like, their economy's on it, and they send all these young experienced soldiers back home with no jobs, no money, the economy's shit, everything's shit, and they would overthrow the government. That's kind of what happened. The perfect storm at the end of World War I, where all these people come home. So some of them start finding work as like bodyguards or security guards or blah blah blah, and that's what starts building these groups, including like the brown shirts and other paramilitary groups. And then they start latching on to political ideologies, and they sit around, and a lot of them, it's incest. A lot of them are reading their zines, which are these little magazines that are just full of like racist drivel and shit about the society. It's just crazy. Let's see if I can find it. Let's go through these right quick because it's actually a good video.
The weird little beef between the actual halftime show back in 2021. The greatest gift history ever gave Richard Nixon was a surprisingly important part of the rise of the mustache government in Germany after World War I is the creation of incels.
Oh, no. Right here it is. Incels.
A surprisingly important part of the rise of the mustache government in Germany after World War I is the creation of incels. Let me explain. Big fat wave of unemployment hits Germany after World War I ends. There are shortages up and down the economy. The Treaty of Versailles is tanking the German economy because the war debts are impossible to repay, and the solution for the Weimar government, at least at first, is print money, print money, print money. People have their savings wiped out. Whatever they've managed to scrounge from their army service loses its value overnight. There is a wave of homelessness. There is a wave of traumatized veterans who are living on the street because the hospitals are overloaded. It is not a great time to be a dude in Germany. But more damaging than all of that for a particular category of man is the young man who was 16 or 17 when he enlisted, who did his Army service, got traumatized, and then came home unemployed and with no marketable skills and with PTSD up to his eyeballs. And what the Weimar government is willing to look the other way on is the existence of the Freikorps. These are paramilitary units of guys who often just take their Army gear and start playing soldier dress up with it after the war, acting as mercenaries, as guns for hire for different state governments, acting as security guards for different political figures. It's a job, it's something they can do to make the ends meet, and it's really the only thing they've got. And while they're in this male-dominated culture, because it's only dudes, they're also still dirt broke, and that is making it really hard for them to start a family, really hard for them to achieve any of the sort of cultural touchstones of adulthood that they're supposed to be achieving based on the culture at the time, and they're not getting laid. They are spending almost 0% of their day in the company of women, and while they're with the boys in their dirty Army gear, they are reading these zines. They're little 1- and 2-page newspapers. You could do multiple print runs a day. They're basically free, and they are just racist drivel from cover to cover all day, every day. And so they're talking about the zines with their guys, and they're doing military violence, military-style violence against labor organizations, against random people that have been accused of crimes, whether or not they've committed them, against ethnic minorities. This constant violence, this social isolation, this mainlining of racist propaganda is making it basically impossible for them to relate to anyone that is not also in the Freikorps, and it builds this culture of rampant extremism. These early Freikorps units will eventually fold into a couple of major ones, and independent paramilitaries that pop out of them that aren't necessarily Freikorps units, but do become attached to various political parties. One of these, the Sturmabteilung, or brown shirts. A surprisingly important part of the rise of the mustache government in Germany after World War I.
That's pretty interesting, right? There's a bunch of fucking racist incels who made themselves more racist and more incel. Like, what the fuck? I think the problem that we're going to see with Twitter as time passes is not racist incels as much as the combination of racism, violence, and porn. Anytime you're on Twitter, it's all racism, violence, and porn. Racism, violence, and I'd be surprised if some of these people that spend all day on fucking Twitter can even fucking pop wood to an actual human anymore. You know what I mean? Like if it's not like someone getting fucking murdered by the federal government and then just a big fucking ass bouncing, I don't think they get any feeling from that. It's very strange. There's going to be something come from that. I'm almost positive. Like a group of like lost boys that have to see like brown people get beat up before they can come. It's weird.
Holy crap, folks. I cannot believe I have to start this video with a trigger warning or put the hotline that is up on screen right now up there. But Thomas Massie, the Republican representative, who, along with Ro Khanna, filed the Epstein discharge petition, and has been a vocal, outspoken critic of what Pam Bondi is doing, how this administration has released the files, just posted this on Twitter saying, "I am not S-word. I eat healthy food. The brakes on my car and truck are in good shape. I practice good trigger discipline and never point a blank at anyone, including myself. There are no deep pools of water on my farm, and I'm a pretty good swimmer." That is a nuts statement for a sitting member of the House to have to put out. But I mean, at this point, it makes sense, especially given, all of the stuff that we saw Pam Bondi do in the hearing, as well as the way we saw people react, as well as the fact that Thomas Massie was the representative who exposed the fact that Pam Bondi had prepared insult flashcards, what people called a burn book, like from Mean Girls, of insults for the representatives that were questioning her. We'll get into more of how he's been calling out Bondi's cover-up, especially— That's cool, Billy. The representatives only being able to see portions of the unredacted files at like 4 computers that they've been spying on the representatives who went and looked at the files. But
I could imagine they'd be about willing to sell anything, whether it was theirs or not, if they get their hands on it, if they haven't been paid months.
Are some of the more tense exchanges between Thomas Massie and Pam Bondi from the other day.
Within 40 minutes, Wexner's name was added back.
Within 40 minutes of me catching you red-handed.
There was one redaction out of over 4,700, and we invited you in. This guy has Trump derangement syndrome.
Literally, we caught you guys redacting a co-conspirator's name. I mean, there's a lot more than that they redacted, but it's like, for them to say, oh, what? I mean, there's just one name. We put it up when you said so. When you caught us on our 4 computers we allowed you to use with redactions on top of redactions. And Pam Bondi's performance here was so bad that at one point she's being asked about, like, are you bringing any more indictments? Are you investigating anyone? And she jumps back to some pretty bizarre talking points.
How many of Epstein's co-conspirators have you indicted? How many perpetrators are you even investigating?
First, you showed it. I find
How many have you indicted?
Excuse me, I'm going to answer the question.
Answer my question.
No, I'm going to answer the question. Wait, I want to answer the question.
No, you answer the question the way I asked it.
And again, on top of that utterly shameful performance, theatrics from Pam Bondi, she apparently came in there ready with insults against people. And another reason that she might have it out for Tom Massie or Trump's administration might is because he posted this the other day saying, "A funny thing about Bondi's insults to members of Congress who had serious questions, staff literally gave her flashcards with individualized insults, but she couldn't memorize them. So you can see her shuffle through them to find the flashcards insult that matches the member of Congress.
And we invited you in. This guy has Trump derangement syndrome. He needs to, you're a failed politician.
Please restore his time and remind the witnesses
there is no credible information.
Massey, of course, after that despicable exchange, as you heard a little bit, then plays the incredibly incriminating moment of Kash Patel saying that there's no client or no evidence to
traffic these young women too, besides himself.
There is no credible information.
Oh, that's cool.
None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals, and the information we have again is limited.
So, I mean, this is absolutely insane. Again, don't agree with most of these people on the Republican side of these issues, except for with, you know, getting transparency and justice for the victims of Epstein and everyone who was involved with him. We even had former Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene responding to his tweet saying these are not the type of public statements that any of us should have to make. But I'll back this up as his friend. Thomas is one of the happiest people I know. He loves his kids and grandkids. He loves his wife. He loves his life. And he loves our country and Kentucky. And even Thomas Massey responded to Marjorie's tweet saying, amen to all of this. Life is good here on the farm during my downtime, and I feel rewarded by the fight for justice when I am in D.C. And so many people, and I think this is telling, it's not funny, but I think this is telling because of the app that this is on, right, that is filled with a bunch of conservative bots for the most part. People saying it's sad how rotten this world has been exposed to be. Appreciate the fight you heroes are doing. Expose them all, sending support from down under. Okay, look at that, from Australia. We have a lot of people watching from Australia. I've been making this statement for well over a year since the FBI hung up on me in 2024 when I called begging for help, naming names nobody cares. History will remember Massey, and it will be written on a golden page. A little much, but here we go. Honestly, I couldn't agree more. Don't like either of your politics for the most part, but I admire your integrity and principles. Still a bit much for Marjorie, but respect in this gif of a little boy tipping his hat. And y'all, it gets even crazier. This man even went so far, this man being Thomas Massey, to call out Laura Ingraham of Fox News, and I guess some conservative mouthpiece, Greg Price, I apologize, I don't know exactly who he is, saying, oh boy, saying a lot here. I'll link to all these tweets down below, but I'll give you the TLDR here. Can you, the people, vote your way out of this? Quote, honestly, not if you get your news from these folks. The swamp has tricks for deceiving the public, and most even work on congressmen. Here's an example of how Laura and Greg played along as happy tools of the swamp. He posted these seeming attacks against him from Fox News host Laura Ingraham, and she's essentially trying to get a gotcha on him here because he voted no on a procedural rule waiving 24-hour notice spending bills. This is in response to the SAVE Act, which basically destroys access to voting rights in this country. With Massey saying he opposed the waiver to block rushed appropriations, not the SAVE Act substance. So again, completely disagree with this guy.
Did you guys see Trump's tweet? It says the Democrats refuse to vote for voter ID or citizenship. The reason is very simple. They want to continue to cheat in elections. This was not what our founders desired. I have searched the depths of legal arguments not yet articulated or vetted on this subject, and will be presenting an irrefutable one in a very near future. There will, listen to this statement, this is very important. There will be voter ID for the midterm elections, whether approved by Congress or not. What does that mean? What possible options does he have to enforce voter ID without it being a law? Like, of course, I always think the worst with this fucking piece of shit. But, like, the only thing I could think of is kind of like the Crimean election that happened when they voted to join Russia after Russia invaded them, where they literally had troops at all the polling places, and they allowed the people to vote that they wanted to vote and turned everybody else away. And somehow they voted like 99% to join Russia. What does it mean if Congress doesn't pass it, what options does he have? ICE, the military, federal agents. What's he going to have there to check ID?
On a matter of most policy.
He goes on to say, by the way, whether approved by Congress or not. Also, the people of our country are insisting on citizenship and no mail-in ballots, with exceptions for military, disability, illness, or travel. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Again, Republicans do better when less people vote. There's no widespread fraud. There's no widespread illegal. There's no outcome changing. Like it's less than 1% of 1% of 1%. Like it's so fucking crazy. Instead, it's to have less legal voters because they do better then.
This is going to disenfranchise so many people in this country. He later voted for the SAVE Act bill.
I'm actually in Alberta, Canada. Do I sound like I'm from the South? That's weird.
That has subsequently passed the House. But he said, this is what I voted against. It's not a bill. It's a modification of House rules. And Laura responds, nice try. Does he think we don't know basic civics? Yeah, I fucking do, Laura, because you're on Fox News. Actually, sorry, I take that back. Maybe you know basic civics, but you choose to lie to your audience about it, which is honestly even worse. If he had killed the rule, the SAVE Act would be dead as it should.
No, yeah, I'm in Tennessee. I am in a like red plus 29 fucking area. Republican plus 29 or 25 or some shit. But I go in. I voted for Kamala Harris in the last election, so we'll see. Yeah, my vote's not going to change the outcome, but I'm also not one of these people that's like, I'm not going to vote at all because, it won't change anything.
Could be. Again, Massey votes with Raskin and the Dems against election integrity, which for all intents and purposes just means denying women and minorities the right to vote and making it harder for them because they don't vote red. Honestly, the Save Act shit is a whole video in itself, so if you understand or appreciate it, thank you. If you'd like to know more about it, let me know in the comments. I'll make a video. Adding why did not a single Republican agree with him? And again, look at this. I mean, it's just fucking misleading bullshit. This guy, I gotta look up who he is. You really can't make this up. Greg Price is conservative communications professional. Misleading bullshit. This guy.
Allowing spending bills to reach the floor without 24-hour notice for review, potentially enabling rushed, unchecked expenditures. He views as physically irresponsible.
I gotta look up who he is. You really can't make this up. Greg Price is a conservative communications professional and former senior digital strategist at X Strategies, a political consulting firm. Known for his work in digital media and rapid response, he has appeared on various media outlets to discuss political communication, media bias. Holy fuck. This guy's gonna tell me about media bias on Fox News? Jesus Christ. Anyway, he says Thomas Massey was just the only Republican who voted against advancing the Save America Act to the House floor. Again, people added context. He voted against a rule to bring Save America Act, the most inaptly named thing since the Big Beautiful Bill, to the floor because it suspended House rules, allowing spending bills to reach the floor without 24-hour notice for review, potentially enabling rushed, unchecked expenditures he views as fiscally irresponsible. And look, it's exactly that kind of misinformation, that kind of fostering of such an ill-informed public that has not only resulted in all the terrible things that we've seen exposed by the Epstein Files Transparency Act that Thomas Massey led with Ro Khanna.
I wish things were just going good. And I didn't have to come on here and bitch about anything. Like, life was just going well, not a whole lot going on. Everything's going all right. People are making money, can afford things. Nothing crazy going on in the world. We're not blowing up fucking boats or fucking abusing immigrants for no reason. We're not even immigrants, U.S. citizens being executed in the street. I would like to have some time to work on some cars. That would be fun.
But also the very real and clear threats that Thomas Massey perceives against his own life, so much so that he, as a sitting Republican representative of Congress, has to say out loud that he won't off himself, that if anything weird happens to him, it should be investigated. What a sorry fucking state American politics is in, and has been.
All right, guys. I think that's it for me. I've been up since 7 a.m. this morning. I'm getting tired. Consider supporting the show. I just kind of threw this one together after the congratulations to Liam and his mock trial team. They're going to stay after winning regionals. That's where I was at all day today, and didn't have a phone, but I'm proud of him. So hopefully we'll be going to the state. It's actually at the state Supreme Court, which would be cool just to go there and hang out there. Anyways, thank you guys for joining us. Consider supporting the show. That's how I pay the bills around here. I have a better show tomorrow. Oh, well, tomorrow is actually Valentine's Day. We're going to the casino. I might go live. Some people like when we just go out and hang out with you guys. And we're going to the Hard Rock Casino, which I've never been to. I might do a video on it if you guys want to. Let me know in Discord or in Telegram if you're interested. And we might do a live stream. We did it when we went to Cherokee, and it was actually a lot of fun hanging out with you guys and doing stuff and whatever. Anyways, thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day, and then my birthday, and then the day after is my dad's birthday. So got a few days coming up in a row. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. Thanks for hanging out with us. I'll see you about the next one. Support the show, and have a good night. Love you. See you. Bye.
But I can tell you this about if this douchebag happens to see this particular show, you don't have the forking
Field trip stream. That's right.
on this.
Come on, class. The Magic School Bus.
And tell them exactly who they are and tell them the rest of the world who they are. You don't have the forking balls. You don't have the balls.
Okay, Scott. Here we go. I think I started some shit. Listen off. It's about to get lit. Get the place in the best. You know that stage is.
It's just us walking around doing shit and reading chat. I mean, it's nothing special, but we typically have fun on it. The last time we went to Harris Cherokee Casino and came back through Gatlinburg and rented a side-by-side and went on some trails and did some stuff, and it seemed like people enjoyed it. We had a lot of fun. There was a lot of people in chat just hanging out, shooting the shit. People that were home or bored or whatever. And if you're going out for Valentine's Day, have fun, whatever. It's not like you have to be there.
Worshiping drums, cocking, begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers like fool in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, eating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention, I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your huckleberry, I can quit.
Get all your Rumble money out and throw it on black, you think?
Alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers. Cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers. Here we go, I think I started some
Get all the money out and put it on one sock.
about to get lit, get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit, get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. I used to find clues too when I was high on shrooms. I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom. Opened his closet, I found some of his meat rockets. I strapped it to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-16. High on amphetamine with Trump in between. Put on a light coat of baby oil and saluted the troops. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, "This is gonna be it." Whoa, wait. Stop. What? What? I'll get my files. Wait, what are you doing? Stop. Hold on. Fucking stop. Dude, come on. Seriously. This is my mom's an alcoholic. Oh, give me a... Oh, my God. Damn it. Here we go. I think I started some shit. Piss them off. It's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets. You know that stage is set. You better buckle.
Sock money on Black for Shadow, of course.
Some shit. Piss them off. It's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets. You know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Round 3. Down goes Nino. Please say it isn't so. Got him backed up on the ropes, trying to ram it down his throat. Now things are getting rocking. He was doing so well. It's all over. Hands on his shoulders. They ringing his bell. You got Frog News Network doing no damn research. They rework and copy on cocks that came first. Ninth inning, second string, and they acting like they know hitters. Assholes throwing bullshit, sending runs to the shitter. All this nonsense on my conscience. It's hard to sleep at night. Who the fuck is in my window with this time of the night? These parasites, these leeches, with all their secret meetings, teaching all you fucking cretins about baby-eating heathens. Believing in reasons with no meaning is bullshit. Will Bird motherfuckers out here busting the grifts. Here we go, I think I started some shit.
Happy almost birthday. Enjoy Dr. Enough on Me. That was from Border Collies. Dillingham, in honor of Burt Burt's return. Burt, if you're listening, grab the cell phone and go do some street streams. I think these are older ones. This donation is for Burt. Thank you for always covering him. Yeah, thank you for those donations. I think I might have missed that Border Collies donation, but thank you for the other ones as well. That's all through, if you donate through Buy Me a Coffee.
Wearing aviator glasses in your mother's basement, and I won't even give out your dime store handle because that's really pathetic.
Good night, guys.